Hey buddies, what's going on? It's badlorie and I'm back today with a speed build video for you. Yes, today we have a little spooky speed build in honor of Halloween and spooky season. Now, before we dive too far into this build, I would just like to take a second to remind everybody who enjoys this video to hit a like button, leave a comment, and maybe even hit that subscribe button if you really enjoy this channel. That way you can be in the loop whenever I have a new video coming out. Now that we got the business end of the video out of the way, back to the important stuff that you're here for, watching me describe this video. Now, if you're familiar with the Sims Vampires game pack, you may recognize this lot as the Widowshild Townhome. Basically, this is the starter home that you get with the Vampires pack. And originally, I had planned to make this a starter home. I thought I would challenge myself to something fun and new and make something under $20,000. However, I quickly blew that budget on the frame of the house. Another lie that I told myself when I started this build was that I was going to build it for the exact same amount of dollars that I had from purchasing the original Widowshild townhome. But like I had said, I had quickly blown that budget, and now this is just going to be a regular priced house. Maybe it'll be your Sim's second house. By the end, it was just under $50,000. So while it's not too expensive, it's definitely not a starter home by any means. Although it's not a starter home, it will make a great home for a couple and possibly a baby, or just the couple, or maybe a couple and a pet. It's up to you and you decide to do with this house. Hopefully once you settle into this house after downloading it, you are less confused than I was working on this side roof over here. I don't know what I thought I was trying to build. I thought I had a cute idea for having like a little glass skylight coming in over the living room, but then I remembered that possibly a vampire lives here and they wouldn't have a skylight. Not only would a vampire not have a skylight in their home, but it really didn't go with the semi-abandoned / dilapidated feel that I was trying to achieve with this home. So while I may not be the best builder or the biggest builder or the most extravagant builder, I do always try my best to build the most unique builds I can, or at least the best build I can with my ability, and that is exactly what happened to the budget on this house. I got ahead of myself and just let it get away from me. Like, we're only 2 minutes into this video and I've already spent close to $10,000 just painting and building the actual house. Like, that's not even with any windows or doors, just paint and walls. So as you may have noticed already, this entire build is actually a huge challenge for me. Things like understated and minimalism are very difficult for me and my brain to achieve. Normally when I do a build, I like to just fill it up with lots of clutter and plants and like it to look lived in, but that's kind of the opposite vibe that I was going for with this build. I wanted this to look like maybe somebody lives here, maybe they don't, maybe somebody's squatting in this house. And to do that, you can't really have a lot of houseplants or clutter going on, so I wasn't quite sure how I was even going to decorate the inside of this. Also, I didn't want it to come out looking super cliche either, but I'm pretty sure that it does. I basically picked like your darkest shades of everything and said, ooh, shadowy house, spooky. But we all know that that's not the case. It takes a little bit more than some shadows to make something feel and look spooky. To be fair though, I blame the game more than I blame myself for this. I believe that The Sims 4 really neglected to give us dilapidated and falling apart looking items. There's nothing here that looks like it's like stained and worn and used, except for the stains from Strangerville and the scratches from vampires. And yes, it's true that spooky stuff and seasons exist, and both came with Halloween decorations and cute stuff to make it look a little bit more Halloweenish. However, I don't like that stuff. I think it looks like Party City or like, you know, just store-bought Halloween decorations, not actual creepiness. I think the next thing that I really want to focus on learning how to do is learning how to use Twisted Mexie's tool mod, aka take objects off a lot. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that mod at all, but it is a godsend. I've been watching and looking at things all over Twitter that people have been building with it, and it is amazing. I mean, there's probably all kinds of videos here on YouTube also of other things that people do with tool mod. It just looks like it takes a lot of patience, and that's not something that I'm really good at. Not only can you create all kinds of crazy works of art with the tool mod, but people actually are able to build the Amityville Walking Dead looking style of house that I'm trying to build here, where it's like actually looks like it's falling apart, actually looks like if you send your sim in it, the house could just collapse on them. That's the vibe that I was going for. So yeah, that's pretty much why I kept all these dead plants all around the house and kept the house mostly unlandscaped. I was definitely afraid that if I had put too many plants or any live plants outside of this home, that it would have definitely made it look like this house had somebody living in it, which, as I've stated, is not what I was going for and not the vibe I wanted it to have. So here we have our kitchen, where I used all of the most budget-friendly of items from the City Living pack. Mostly I chose those items though because they already have stains all over them, so they look like they were left here after the previous resident moved out, or like they were just here to rust. Wait, but wouldn't it be cool if like all of the appliances had rusty options or rusty swatches available for them? That way I don't have to just have the cheap budget stuff in the house every time I wanted to build something that looked more spooky. Like what if before the apocalypse came to this Sims house, they had the schmapple refrigerator in there? Am I supposed to just leave it there looking all nice for all eternity? No, of course not. It would get dirty and rusty just like anything else eventually. So that is my argument for why we should have dirty swatches for all items, and specifically appliances. But mostly I want dirty swatches for all the items because I like to build things that look like they're more abandoned looking. And it's just hard with the things that we have. Like look at those couches from Spooky Stuff. Who would actually have sheets with ghost faces on them? Seriously. It's literally like the only thing that I hate about the Sims world being a utopia. Everything has to be pristine and clean looking all the time. And I think that's one of the reasons that I love to clutter up houses so much, because it's the only way that I can make them look lived in. It's not like anything actually looks used here. Nothing that you buy from build and buy mode looks used, and there's no way for things to wear down as your Sims use them either. Maybe that can be something that they introduce for the Sims 5. Like maybe in the Sims 5, after your Sim has a bed for a while, the mattress can get worn out, and then they get like an uncomfortable moodlet until you buy them a new one. Or maybe like their couch can break, or just like other things that need to get upgraded besides just, oh my god, your sink broke, here, repair it. I want more depth to the game. I know I'm not alone in that. And I know that sounds like a weird way to add depth into the game, but it's the little things that make it feel real. Like remember in The Sims 2 when your Sims used to actually use the drawers and the counters when they were cooking, or when your Sim used to cuddle their partner in bed? Remember those things? Yeah, that was definitely some of the stuff that made The Sims 2 great. It came with the little details that made it feel like a real, fleshed out world. Whereas The Sims 4 feels flat and kind of lifeless. Just like all of the objects in it. It's like they were made to go together almost. Even The Sims 3 had more interactions between your Sims and other Sims and your Sims and objects, making everything feel more alive. Yeah, that game had its problems, like the open world caused things to lag and the open world caused there to be less Sims around in general, but it still felt more alive than The Sims 4 does. It just felt like your Sims recognized when things were around them in other Sims. Like the whole reputation system, for example. Every time your Sim walked by like a group of people, if they had a bad reputation, they would boo at your Sim. That was the best. So yeah, about this build that you came to see, right now I'm just putting the Spooky Stuff curtains up all over the house because they are the only curtains that fit the vibes I was going for. And I'm kind of decorating this little baby room here, actually inspired by The Sims 3 in Agnes Crumplebottom's house. She had like half an abandoned baby room in there, so is there a story there, or am I just trying to tribute The Sims 3? It's up to you to decide! I had considered making this an off-the-grid lot just momentarily though, because then I remembered that the lighting situation for off-the-grid lot sucks. Like there's only 12 lights to choose from. Okay, I'm exaggerating. There's more than 12 lights to choose from, but there's not a lot of options and they all look kind of similar. And again, none of them really matched what I was going for, so I had to leave power for the lights. A little annoyed about that. It just made more sense to me in my mind and the story that I was going with that this didn't have an actual occupant, it just had squatters in it, that it made sense for there to not be electric running to the house. I guess it's better that there's actual lights in this house anyway, so you can actually see all of the dirt and debris that I tried to leave everywhere. It seriously was a struggle to decorate without over-decorating because of my desire to just want to put things everywhere. Luckily though, there just wasn't enough stuff to go with what I had envisioned for this house for me to put as much stuff as I normally do into a house. So for that reason that it's not as decorated as my normal house is, it feels almost unfinished to me, but it is finished, I swear. And you may have also noticed that I haven't put a bathroom in here anywhere yet. Don't worry, I remember to do that by the end. This house has a bathroom. Not only does this house have a bathroom, but it also has a trash can and a mailbox too. Those are the three things that I usually miss when I'm building a house. One of those three things almost always gets left out. This time it was almost the bathroom, but I caught it before I published it, and I'm proud. Speaking of publishing, if you are interested in this house or anything that you watch me build or create a sim on this channel, I'm badlorie on the EA gallery, and it's spelled just like you see it here, B-A-D-L-O-R-I-E, badlorie. Look it up on the gallery. And for those of us who are still paying attention to the build, we just have me cluttering up the house to the best of my ability, trying to find accessories and decorations that fit the vibe I was going for. And I know you already clocked that Moschino stuffed shelf that doesn't match anything in the room, but I really love that shelf, so it had to go there. So fight me about it. And here is a dirty little graveyard that I built because I just have the incessant need to put more and more stuff down on the lot, and at least the graveyard goes with the spooky abandoned theme that I was going for. And I feel like it really matches the neighborhood too. Like, it definitely blends in with the vibe of the neighbors' houses, especially Vlad's house. That is one thing that I always try to do when I'm building a house and landscaping, is I try to make it look like my lot matches the rest of the landscape of the neighborhood. Not like I just plopped in something from Sulani and Brindleton or whatever. It needs to all go and all look fluid. And right now I'm just trying to find like a little awning or a little balcony to fill that little gap where I neglected to put any trim on the house. I do put the trim there eventually, and I've also decided on the little balcony from Realm of Magic, and I think that that looks really cute up there. It's a little window moment and I like it. I really liked the awning from Cats and Dogs best, but I couldn't make the shingles on the roof match the shingles on top of the awning, and that was just irking my nerves too much and I couldn't deal with that. The next thing that you're going to see me doing here is just filling in some of the dead space around the porch. We put some cool new rocking chairs up there because I can't get enough of those. For the time being, I am just trying to decorate the house without making it look like I filled up too much space. So it was a really fine line of having it not have dead space and not having it be over decorated. There's even a couple of little sculptures from Journey to Batu pack that I was able to fit into this theme, surprisingly. That's the one good thing that I can say about that pack, honestly, that it had good industrial and grungy looking stuff in it that isn't in any other pack at all. So it's a little bit harder to work in most of it to like regular everyday builds, but the stuff that it does have is going to be golden when you have a build for it. Like that giant bird sculpture that's on the porch by the front door right there. So I wonder what's going to be in this new expansion pack. They didn't give us any leaks or anything yet, but the trailer is going to premiere in only 5 days from now. And don't worry, I'll definitely be having a review for that when that comes out. However, they were very explicit in the letter from the Sims community at the end of summer that this next expansion pack wasn't going to have anything that we asked for in it. Whether it be cars, bunk beds, improved babies, improved skin tones aren't going to be here yet. So what could it be? And more importantly, is it even going to be anything that anybody wants? I mean, I've always been excited for new Sims content, whatever it is, whenever it came out, until Star Wars. Once they hit us with that, I now have to join the rest of the skeptics and be a little bit weary when they tell us that there's something new coming and that it's nothing that we asked for. Another question that I have is, if we're not asking for this stuff, who is? Whose idea was it to just keep ignoring all of us Simmers and our requests when it's been the same request for so many years? It's not like we're asking for new stuff every single month. We've been asking for cars, bunk beds, and improved babies for 6 years now. When are they going to answer? I know that is because the answer is probably never. We're never going to see those things happen in The Sims 4. But it would be nice to see some real transparency from the gurus and at least have them just put it out and say it. You know, like, hey, stop asking for these things. They can't happen in this game. Look forward to The Sims 5. And yes, I'm sure there would be backlash if they just came out and told us no, these things aren't happening in The Sims 4. But isn't there backlash already when they keep leading us on and leading us on? Like, we might get these things, we might get these things. Who knows? It could happen in the future. Is that not fair? Like, wouldn't it be better just to tell us the truth that it's impossible to do in this game so we can stop asking and we can all move on with our hopes and dreams? And I'm sorry if I'm coming off negative. I'm not trying to come off as negative about The Sims. I absolutely love The Sims. I just want our Sims team to do better for us because we've done good for them all this time as loyal, faithful Simmers. Can't we have the same in return? One of the problems with consumerism is that it's a two-way street. And when we as the consumer start feeling ignored, we start feeling it's time to ignore the game. On a serious note, in spite of all my current frustrations with the game, I'm still excited to see what new content they have coming out for us at the end of the month. I just want to add more to the game. The game still feels like it's lacking, so I'm still going to want to add to it. I'm personally hoping for a winter resort pack. There's got to be a way that they can get the snow to just be in the winter world and that's it. Like, it can be like a permanent ground covering, and like maybe there won't be any falling snow over in that part of the world unless you have seasons installed already. And maybe there could be a feature that you can buy, you know, second homes and resorts. I swear to God, I thought that was a feature that was supposed to come with Island Living. I thought when Island Living came, you were supposed to be able to buy a second house, and I was so disappointed when that wasn't a part of it. But that's just me being dumb. Well, buddies, there it is, my little spooky-ooky starter house for y'all. I tried my best on it. I hope you like it. I hope you guys check it out in the gallery and see what else I got up there too. Thank you so much for listening to this stream of consciousness and watching the entire video. It really means a lot to me that you wanted to spend some time with me and hear my thoughts and opinions on things. Well, that's all I got time for this one. I hope y'all are staying safe, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you so much. Bye!